All right, everyone hear me? Thumbs up? Beautiful. So, right now I'm still on with the tower, but I'm going to try and get you guys some info until we clear out of their area. If you guys take a look on your left, you can see the main town of Kahului. It is the largest town on the island. And then where the buildings get a little taller up there towards the valley is Wailuku. That's the capital of Maui. The two cities run right alongside each other. Now, Maui itself is the second largest island in the Hawaiian island chain. It houses somewhere around 160,000 people that live here year round. And pre COVID, it was seeing just under 2.6 million visitors a year. Not too bad for a little island. All right, guys. So they released me, gives me freedom to talk. You guys good? AC good? Comfortable? Beautiful. So right now we're traveling on the north side of the West Maui Mountains, and there's two valleys that cut into the West Mauis. This first one here is called the Wahee Valley, and the front part of it is open. So I'm going to bring you guys inside here. It's really stunning. As we come in over the top of the ridge line here, you're going to see a hiking trail that runs from our left to our right, and it goes to this first point here on our right. That's known as the Wahee Ridgeline Trail, and it is the furthest point into the West Maui Mountains that any one person can make it legally. Everything else beyond that is National Forest Reserve. It's restricted and protected. No hiking trails, no roads. You just got to fly it to see it. Now, as we come up here, I'm going to bring you guys up alongside our first waterfall. It's really quite stunning. It has a max drop over 2,000 feet. It's all fed from rainwater, and it is flowing quite nicely. Now, I'd like to point out that the West Maui Mountains combine with the Hana Forest Reserve to make up the second wettest place in the Hawaiian Islands. They see a little under 400 inches of rain a year. That's over an inch a day. Or if you wanted to translate that to snow to better understand it, that would be like 330 feet of snow. So it's quite a bit of moisture that drops in these areas annually. Now, as we come up here, I'm going to keep us high on the rainforest. I don't always get up here, and that's because the clouds and rain cover it up and lock us out. It's really quite stunning right now. We're going to make our way to the next valley, which will be called Honokahau Valley, and we'll see how the clouds are in the back of it, if it's going to let us inside. But it's really gorgeous right now. Now, as we come up here, we've entered into Honokahau Valley. We may get some bumps from the wind. I'm going to try and keep it smooth, but it's really stunning. We're flying over a double canopy rainforest. What I mean by that, if you look down the valley walls, you'll see the trees that are pronounced, but then you got that lighter vegetation that looks like bushes or shrubs. It's a second canopy of tree cover, and the ground is quite a bit ways below it. Now, I am bringing you in this valley for the back waterfall here. It's really stunning. Honokahau Falls is the tallest free-falling waterfall on the island of Maui, stretching over 1,700 feet on its drop. It's all fed from rainwater, and it is flowing really nicely. Just incredible, huh? Everybody wave as they go by. Everyone good still? Thumbs up? Beautiful. So now as we come up here, we're coming out alongside what's called the Kapalua side of the island. The first thing you'll notice will be the Plantation Golf Course here on your left. Now it's pretty famous. It houses the Tour of Champions, which is the start of the PGA season every year, and that tournament was held just a few weeks ago here. Now, as we get closer to the shoreline, on our right, you'll see the road winding along here. This is Highway 340. Now, Highway 340 does allow you to drive the circumference of the West Maui's, but be advised, Highway 340 is a Hawaiian highway, which means if you want to drive that road, you need two things: time and patience. If you don't have either, avoid that road. The majority of it is single lane, two-way traffic, which means you're jockeying position or driving in reverse for quite some time, then jockeying position to go forward. It is a gorgeous drive, though, if you have time and patience. Now, we are leaving Maui, and we're coming out to cross the channel here to get to Molokai. This is called the Pailolo Channel. And Pailolo in Hawaiian translates to the crazy fisherman. That's because the current is extremely strong. It's about 8 miles across, goes down 800 feet deep, but on our right is open Pacific Ocean. And all that wind and swell pushes in between the two islands like a bottleneck, and the current picks up really rapidly. And in the history of the Pailolo, there's only been 34 people that have successfully swam the channel. So if that's on your to-do list, let someone know. We're also in our whale season, so we do catch them in our crossings, but normally not on the north side here, because the whales are a lot like us. They don't like to work as hard if they don't have to. So our better chance will be on our way back from Molokai, where the channel's wider and the current is much weaker. Now, as we get closer to Molokai, I'm bringing you guys up to the northeast side for the island that you see here. That island is quite famous. It has several names. Its Hawaiian name is Mokoho'oniki, which means little pinches of rock. But the locals on Molokai call it Hanu Rock or Turtle Rock, because they say it looks like a sea turtle swimming down the channel. The larger island on the right is the shell. The little island on the left is his head coming up out of the water. And as we get closer, you'll see a chunk of rock coming out of the shell towards us, like a flipper flapping up and down in the water. You got to have an imagination, but he's there. Now, as we come up here, we're traveling on the right side of our turtle, and I got to ask, does anybody like magic? Yeah? Well, I got one magic trick. Stay looking at our turtle here. I'm going to wave my hand. I'm going to say presto, and I'm going to turn him into a sleeping elephant. So the way I'm going to do that is change perspective. We're only looking at the turtle's shell, and you'll watch it morph into a laying down elephant. His tail's closest to us, head is farther away, and what was the turtle's flipper is now the elephant's trunk going out into the water, just like he laid on his side and took a nap in the ocean. Now, is that the first time you've seen a turtle turn into an elephant? As we come on shore here, we're going to make our way up over onto Molokai. It's not as populated as the other islands, only has about 7,400 people that live here. It's predominantly Hawaiian. The only way to get here is an island jumper airplane or charter a private aircraft. Because of that, it sees less than 80,000 visitors a year. But once you're on island, there's only one hotel, one car rental place, two gas stations, a couple of restaurants, and two grocery stores. And those grocery stores are like your town store. You're going to buy your burger next to your hammer, so keep that in mind. You can see this road here running along here. That is the only paved road on the island that transitions part of it. It goes off to our right and it goes into the bottom of the valley. It ends by the ocean. That's the furthest point that anyone can make it on the northeast side of Molokai. Everything else that I'll show you will be national forest, restricted and protected, just like the West Maui's. As we come into the valley on our left is going to be an amazing multi-tiered waterfall, and I'll do some turns by it so you guys get a really good view. Now, as we come up here, we climbed up on top of Molokai, and if you look straight ahead, you're going to notice that the ground is disappearing quite rapidly. That's because we're going to come right off the top of the famous sea cliffs of Molokai. They are the world's tallest, and at certain points, they eclipse over 4,000 feet. Now, as we come up here, I'm going to come right up alongside Papala'ua Falls here. It's really quite stunning. When you translate the word Papala'ua in Hawaiian, it means two waterfalls. So you have the large one there in the middle, and then you got the little one on the right of it that combines halfway down. Now, Papala'ua has a max drop of over 2,000 feet. It's all fed from rainwater, and it is flowing really nicely. Now, as we come up here, we're going to transition down alongside the sea cliffs here. And about 1.3 million years ago, there was a volcanic earthquake. 25 miles of the island of Molokai here fractured and slid off into the ocean to the right of us. That's what gives us this sea cliff instead of a natural erosion that you would typically see on the West Maui's or on the north side of Haleakala. You'll watch the Wailau Valley here open up on your left really shortly. It's just gorgeous. Anyone counting waterfalls? No? Just amazing. As we come in here, this is called the Pelikunu Valley. It's really stunning. As we come in here, this is all National Forest Reserve, and we're going to start to move in over the top of a double canopy rainforest once again. It's really gorgeous today. Everyone good still? Thumbs up? Yeah? Perfect.